so in this video today, I'm going to help the people right now that are having some difficulties with their finances, and this video will help you over time rebuild your credit. So let's get started. Now, some of you are undecided yet whether you are going to go the bankruptcy route or if you're going to take the time to rebuild your credit, depending what your situation is like right now. Now, if you're thinking about bankruptcy, one question that I get a lot is whether or not you can keep any credit card accounts open during a time like this. And the answer is it's possible, but it gets more complicated and it all depends on where you live. However, if you do go through bankruptcy and you finished that process, you can then reopen accounts to start rebuilding credit over time. And if you're doing that, I would recommend to have somewhere between 1 to 3 credit cards to help you start building your credit back. Now, if you have some problems with your credit right now, some accounts are in good standing and some are not, you probably don't need to open any more credit accounts. You can make sure you take the ones that have been in good standing and continue to make payments on time. However, if most of everything you have is not looking good right now, opening a new account could be really helpful for you to show new credit history, positive credit history. You'll see throughout this video, I'm going to talk a lot about self, and you'll see why. But the big reason is I've used it myself. I've used it a few years back when they had less features than they do now. Self is better now, but even back then, it helped me a great deal. I have a review video about it. It was one of the first videos I did on my channel, and if you want to learn about my experience with self, you can check that video out. Otherwise, you're going to find a link in the description of this video telling you more about self. It is an affiliate link that does help my channel. If you use it, I thank you. But either way, I think self is an option you should consider. Okay, so it's not going to be a surprise to you that I am going to tell you that you should get a copy of your credit score. You can get that free. And the reason I'm telling you that is that sometimes we feel overwhelmed by the situation we're in, and if you take a look at it, it might not be as bad, or even if it is, you're going to see the reality of your situation and you'll have a good feeling of what you're going to need to do. Another reason you're going to want to get a copy of your credit report is that it is not uncommon to find mistakes on there that have nothing to do with anything you've done. And if you have these mistakes corrected, it can help you raise your credit score a few points. So for those two reasons, I recommend getting a free copy of your credit report. There are paid services as well, and I really only recommend those for people that have more serious goals like home ownership, where you can use the tools of a paid service to help increase your credit score higher and faster. One common tip that I like is to take the credit card that you have with the lowest balance that you need to pay and work on paying that one off first. And the reason I think this is a good idea is because once you get that balance to zero, you feel like you really accomplished something and you're more excited to go on to the next card. And after you pay off that first credit card, to have that sense of achievement, you're going to want to look at your other credit cards and look for the one that has the highest interest rate and try to pay as much on principal for that payment you can for each and every month. And one thing that people don't consider doing is calling their credit card companies, telling them, well, I'm having some difficulties right now. Is there anything you can do to lower the interest rate? And the surprising thing is that some banks are willing to do that, especially at this point in time. It never hurts to make a phone call. And this is going to help you pay off your credit debt faster. Depending on the situation, Some people are going to need to open new lines of credit, while others can just keep things as they are. For the people that are looking to open new lines of credit, when you do that, you typically get a hard credit inquiry that is going to go against what you're trying to do, but it's going to not increase your credit score, but lower it, at least initially. Hard credit inquiries will lower your credit score. So there are very few products out there that do not require that you get a hard credit inquiry when you apply. And one of those actually is Self. So for this video, this is one of the other reasons I'm recommending Self. It's going to allow you to apply, and when you get approved, when you fill out the information that they request correctly, they are not going to do a hard credit inquiry on your account. Never. So this is one good option for rebuilding credit. And the other reason I pick Self is that it's not a line of credit where you can get into more trouble. It's not going to be a store card that typically has easy approval. If you get a line of credit for $1,000 and then you rack up $1,000 in charges, that's not doing anything to help your situation. So Self is a product that is going to keep you from acquiring more debt. I actually really do like credit cards that offer pre-qualification, and I did in the past do a video for 19 different credit cards that offer this. But in most situations when you are trying to rebuild your credit, it's good to try to avoid these type of credit card offers. If you do have to go this route, the definite advantage here is if you do not meet that bank's criteria for approval, they will tell you, and that will stop you, and you can avoid a credit inquiry. Okay, so having done this for a while now, what I've realized, half of people know this already, but half don't. And that is that a lot of people think the best thing to do once they pay off a credit card bill is to cancel that account, especially if it's for a credit card they rarely use. But that is the wrong move to take. So that's a bad move, because one of the key components to figuring out a credit score is to see the overall amount of open lines of credit and the percentage of credit that's actually being used. So if you had a credit line for $2,000 and you cancel that account, essentially you're taking $2,000 of open credit off of your report, and then your debt ratio percentage goes up, and that will, in fact, in most cases, lower your credit score. So I would hold on to these accounts, leave them empty, maybe make 1 or 2 charges a year, and let those unused cards help you increase your credit score. One thing you can do to help increase your credit score just a little bit faster is to have a diversity of different types of credit accounts, not just credit cards. Things like car loans, you might have a mortgage. Those type of accounts, along with credit cards, give a variety on your report. And that little mix of different types of credit products have been shown to help with increasing credit score. Now, if you have a car loan, that's great. You have credit mix along with your credit cards. But if you only have credit cards, you might want to look into opening a credit building loan from a company like Self. So I'm going to mention Self again. This is a credit installment loan, and that's going to add some credit mix. And you can do this while you are paying down any credit debt that you have currently. Now, there are debt settlement companies or other companies that offer different types of services. I'm always a little bit leery about companies like that, but in certain situations, some of them are legit and are actually going to help you out. I personally do not have any straight recommendations that I can give you on that. All I do ask you to is make sure you do your research, Find out if you could find some legitimate reviews on people that have gone through the process. You don't want to get fake 5-star reviews, make that decision on getting this product. So that's it. I mean, I've kind of told you what the basic things that you can do to help rebuild your credit. These are things that are actionable, and not overnight, but over time is going to get you to where you need to be. Many of us have been there. I have. Trust me, I have. So I know it's possible to change and turn things around. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much to making it to the end of this video, and I'll see you next time.